What's up, everybody? This is Tony Mosey, and today I want to do a 1-year follow-up from all those months I've been taking Seed. I've made previous videos. If you want to look at the two, I did a 1 month, my very first month doing Seed, and then I did a 6 month. But now I really decided to do this 12-month review of Seed because now it gives me a very holistic approach, as I've done a lot of different methods and definitely check to see the ins and outs of what's going on with this thing. I was watching a video by Thomas DeLauer on YouTube as he spoke about how, Seed created this mechanism of how it has like a 2-part process that breaks into a timely fashion, from the esophagus, and then it, goes into the intestinal tract, and then breaks within the stomach. And I knew I wanted to increase my gut health since I was getting into fasting, doing a reset type diet, of just whole foods. And of course, I did a little animal-based, like carnivore, briefly. And just wanted to basically strengthen myself after years of eating, junk, including lactose, as I've been lactose intolerant over my latter half of my adult life. I also believe part of my gut healing journey from being lactose intolerant to tolerating lactose has been in some ways related to Seed Probiotic, in which I talk about in my whole healing process and system I used on myself that allowed me to consume milk, ice cream, and cheese with no problem. And I did that video, and you can check that video out as well. But today, I want to talk about my overall thoughts and experiences using this wonderful thing, this darn thing, Seed, after 1 year of use, and how I feel today. The company, talk about the company, and if I recommend this. So, as a disclaimer, the views expressed today are solely coming from yours truly, Tony Mosey. And so I want you to make sure that you consult your healthcare professional before taking Seed Probiotic or anything similar or alternative. So first, experience. It appears that things have gone from okay to great to yuck. Perhaps my body was getting used to it, and normally people say that problems occur within the beginning stages. However, my experience was total opposite. I went from having slight, occasional nausea to not having any nausea at all, to the last few months of the year feeling nauseous every time. I tried doing my own little A/B test, right? 2 type of tests, right? This versus that type test with Seed and how it was on my body, where I would consume tap water versus my reverse osmosis machine that I have over the counter. Another time I would use it consuming absolutely nothing for 4 hours versus on my fast, where I know, of course, using things such as magnesium, potassium, and sodium, the trifecta that gets me always through my fasts. And basically those kind of supplements like magnesium, creatine, that would read basically can be taken without food. I would feel nauseous. I would do black coffee. I would do water with creatine. And again, I would sometimes feel nauseous. And at other times, I would not feel nauseous. So it was very weird. I had a very all-encompassing thing going on, at least for the first half of the year using it. So those times I would try not to think about it, right? I'd be like, it's all in your head, or maybe just go on with your day, whatever. But then towards the last months, I would feel it in regards if I consume calorie-less foods, from tap water to reverse osmosis water to not eating anything at all. Calorie-less foods as well, such as creatine, my magnesium L-threonate, my magnesium supplements, my potassium in the form of cream of tartar that has no calories in it, but it's potassium bitartrate. And I would have all these different ranges of reactions to it. Second part, the company. So you know what made the nausea even more nauseous? The shipments. I know you can change the frequency and all, but by the way I was taking them, even when I had pushed them out a few months or more, they would be sending me a shipment sooner than I wanted. I mean, look, yeah, you could say, hey, push it out 6 months or whatever. I forget. You could push it out for a certain amount of time. But then I would blink an eye, in a sense, because somewhere maybe in my body says, hey, don't take seed. I don't know. But next thing I would know is a shipment coming in, and I'd be like, I don't need this right now. I don't want this right now. I want to take a break from it. So there were times in the year where I was inconsistent. During the first month, I was trying to take the pill every day, the seed supplement every day. Then a few months in, I found myself trying to take three seed pills a day just so I could have the freshest of shipments. I was doing that. I mean, I don't know if there's a truth about it that, it's going to, with the jars like this, they're supposed to kind of keep it fresh. You got the travel jar and all that stuff like that. But then what about when you leave it in this? Is it still fresh? I don't know. So of course I'm thinking, all right, maybe I need to take them fresh. But I don't know if that was a good idea, taking 3 at a time. And again, another A/B test, taking 2 versus 3, and sometimes I even took 4, just testing, say, what happened if I did this? I'm sorry. Sometimes I have a toddler of a brain, and I like that because I get to figure out what's going on here. And I'd have varying symptoms, right? It would be nothing at all with 4, something with 2, nothing at all with 3, and then again, I would have something with 3 and nothing with 2, or nothing with 2 and something with 4. So it's like, what's going on here? And then I started graduating into going 1 week to a month of not taking them at all, right? Like that was the how much I was, even when I received it, I would say I'm taking at least a week off. And then next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I have these darn things in my cabinet. I should be taking it. So either way, between the shipments and the price, that was another thing that was also nauseous because I'm like, look, I'm paying for this stuff. I'm not even using it. I went from going with the normal cadence to finding a way to, be budget friendly with their Go Green offering or whatever that offering was at that time, to spreading out the shipments, to putting a quick pause, to ultimately discontinuing seed. Seed, people have talked about gateway drugs. I'll just call it a gateway, right? Gateway drugs, of course, in that connotation is always like, well, it's going to lead you into other negative things. Well, in this sense, I mean, seed was, the idea was supposed to be a good thing for me at least, and perhaps everyone else who intends on considering seed. But in this sense, with the whole gateway, this is supposed to be a gateway into something positive in this regard. So seed has been this gateway to other more wholesome types of food. As I got into fermented vegetables and pickled vegetables, plain kefir, and bone broth, I noticed how much better I felt with actually consuming whole foods than a probiotic. I also had to remind myself that seed is a supplement, and as always with supplements, they should come secondary to an already whole food diet. So third, my recommendation. Would I recommend seed? Well, I would say it was great to use in the beginning and can help build whatever, gut biome has lacked from years of an unhealthy diet that had led to a poor gut biome. A lot of things contribute to it, alcohol, eating junk food, constantly eating crappy dairy that's just damaging to my lactose intolerant body, just doing things like that. This has been occurring for years. And so I see this as a good short-term thing and not a lifelong thing. I feel foods like fermented and pickled vegetables, ceasing or stopping, eating sugar, drinking plain kefir, fasting, going on, for me was a animal-based diet, just eating like grass-fed, grass-finished steak, chicken, pork, and butter, and which was interesting. Another thing too that I noticed that with butter, out of all the dairy type foods, that one doesn't mess with my stomach, especially if I got it from Kerrygold. So with all these things to be considered, right? Especially when I did the brief carnivore diet, that also helped me to identify which foods are not good for me once I started to reintroduce food, all right? So it has me asking these questions also in the recommendation. Was it the inconsistency of using Seed Probiotic that caused me to not feel so good? Was my stomach basically just telling me that I had enough and basically stop it with the madness? Was it kind of like an unconscious thing, like something going on a little bit more, more midbrain functioning and saying, hey man, I'm trying to tell you something. Like, stop this. And could I have just done without seed and relied on a diet of no sugar, consuming fermented and pickled vegetables, plain kefir, and fasting? I mean, going back to the first question, was it the inconsistency of using Seed Probiotic that caused me to not feel so good? And then here's a dilemma that I'm facing with that question right there. Because it's one thing that I kept consistent with it, but who's to say that the consistency is actually wearing down on my gut biome? So, leading into that second question, was my stomach basically telling me that I had enough and I should just stop consuming seed? So maybe that inconsistency was basically saying, look, get the hell off of it. And then my rational brain saying, just keep going, keep doing it. But my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me no. I guess I forget. I'm trying to use the song as you guys, whoever knows that song. But my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. It was kind of one of those with the seeds. And could I just, again, it's going back to the whole idea of taking seed as a short-term thing instead of a lifelong thing, and relying on a whole food diet. Like, that should be your seed, all right? And so I would say everything should maybe be done in a short-term thing, just like I have videos that have talked about carnivore diet. Maybe not your cup of tea or a cup of bone broth, but I did it. It worked for me to do 3 months or maybe do a whole month of just eating, meat and butter, because then it allowed me to go back and see, okay, there's some vegetables I can't be eating. I feel like crap. There's some fruits I can't be eating. There's just some other foods I can't be eating. And then it also inspired me to go get an allergy test, and I found out that I'm allergic to several types of foods, including a lot of vegetation, like peas and carrots and corn. So these are some things to consider. Those are my thoughts. Those are my experiences. And, again, tread lightly. Your mileage may vary, but I wish you the best of luck. And if anyone has taken seed, please comment down below what have been your experiences. Love to talk to you soon, and thank you for checking out the video.